Ah, yes, so early utility selection meta thoughts? So make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So things are heating up a little bit early today because utility selection has finally gone legal in the OCG. We finally got to kind of take a little bit about how the market is holding up this morning with some of these particular cards. And utility selection it's an interesting set when you take the perspective and, look back at it, because there's only 8 new cards in the set. Now, granted, I mean, it's a set that is, a reprint set in disguise. It's like Konami looked at Rarity Collection and said, well, we can't do a Rarity Collection, but we want to be able to, reprint some key cards for the meta and some higher rarities, but at the same time, we still want you to be able to get some new cards to be able to power things up. We got to have that selling point in there. Now, judging by what I have seen, the clear winner in the set, and we've said this time and time again, it's the Dominator girl. All right, the Dominatrix being able to search for Purge, being able to splash it into cool tunes, being able to do all of that extra sauce is very, very good. Like, honestly, Konami, good job. You created an actual good tuner that has Songs of the Dominator application, has Dominus Purge application. There's a lot of good usability that you get all flushed out from that card, but we already knew this. How about the rest of the cards, though? Because as you're kind of looking at the rest of the set, though, there are 7 other additional cards in this set that do have application. It's just, what else do they do? Well, I also should say, the amount of people that are, looking at Blue Eyes right now and trying to, do something with Blue Eyes is actually really, really cool. I gotta give them a little bit of credit. That Dominator girl helped out Blue Eyes a lot. Yeah, who would have guessed, right? A deck that already wants to be able to synergize and have access to Dominus Purge has access to do it more consistently. Isn't that crazy? I cannot stress enough to you how much that one monster revitalized a couple of decks just to kind of make them look like they're doing a little bit better. I mean, that's given the situation that the OCG is in right now, considering the fact that, you look at their Cool Tune deck, which is already kind of on life support a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not, but I mean, it's kind of on life support. But, Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is definitely dead in the water, definitely getting more of that life. Now, the OCG also loves sharks. All right, you got to remember, they have access to Bahamut Shark. They have access to Totally Awesome. They're water pile is like a completely different creature than what we get to do, because for some reason the TCG went, what if we keep Totally Awesome around, we ban Bahamut? We had the exact opposite effects. We'll never get to play the water pile the way that the OCG is, but now that they have that new Nash Knight rank 4, they're able to actually have some cool splashable ideas working together with that one. I actually think that has been one of the cooler ideas kind of coming to fruition. I've not seen a lot of the shark list, but I can tell that players are trying out the ideas here and they're trying to innovate with it. Now, the big one that I have seen out of all of this has been Sky Striker. Sky Striker getting Ultimate Sky was just, hey guys, here's another going second card, possibly we can't make Sky Striker any more broken than it actually is. Welp, you would have guessed incorrectly, because now you've given Sky Striker these extra tools. And I also saw a Sky Striker list trying to play the new Mirror Force as well. Who would have guessed, right? All of these, Konami's trying to make going second way more valuable, or way more viable right now. Look, we just got the World's Greatest Thief, which is Lava Golem on, absolute craziness. Ultimate Sky, which is just a better call by the grave. We've already developed some crazier technology with the new Mirror Force for counterplay. This is 9, if you're maximizing these cards, that's 9 new cards that are breaking the meta at going second. That's an incredibly interesting topic of conversation, that the game is shifting on its axis on staple interactions really kind of changing things. So that's something to think about. Also, side note, back to that Dominus card. She's playable in Yummy. How many decks am I going to sit here this weekend? Deal. But I also remember, this is the early, like, tournament results this morning, as if I'm filming this, are just now starting to populate. I'm filming this. I will probably see some more data come across that I'll get to analyze into Sunday, into Monday. That will tell, like the full picture of what's going on. But it's the early thoughts that are being painted here that are really kind of telling, the story. Now, what about the normal monster support? What about the new Trishula? What about the Gores? Unfortunately, while the new vanilla monster support was very, very cool, it is just that. It unfortunately doesn't really serve a good purpose within the meta, which is really disappointing. The Gores is also a very, very flavorful card. It is very awesome to see the design of that actually coming, forth, but I'm not seeing a interaction for it. The best cards in this set going forward are Ultimate Sky, the Dominus, to a lesser degree, the Silent Honor Knight, and then the Trishula I've been seeing the Trishula gaining some steam in terms of people picking it up. But if you were to, look at it and go, is there value in it? I'm not seeing anything really too crazy. And this also brings up the thought of, what are we doing with the Dark Armed Dragon? The Dark Armed Dragon also has fallen into this same situation of it's just kind of sitting there, really doing nothing. And it's really sad to say that, because there was a lot of cool application, once again, to be had with that. I like the idea of what we were trying to pull off with the design on some of these cards. But in standard Yu-Gi-Oh fashion, if half of the cards are playable, that's amazing. If the other half kind of fall to the wayside, then, it's not really crazy. Speaking of OCG meta, so that's all I've got for utility selection. This Ars Magna Malice deck that has been popping up in terms of, like, design, I am kind of intrigued by this. I think Ars Magna as a Link extension package in a deck like Malice is really, really interesting. I have not seen a lot of people really perfecting the ideas of this deck yet, but I think the idea of having this kind of workout seems to be like some super secret, new thing. Now, obviously, Malice still sitting here in the background, still continuing to evolve is, annoying to some people. All right, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, maybe it's not doing particularly like crazy things, but there is some cool ideas. Obviously, Ars Magna has been slotting into Elf Note, and it's not just, Elf Note that's doing it. No, there's Malice combo lines that are opening up with this as well. Now, that's really, really cool. But the thing here is there's a lot of little sets coming in, like limited raw yellow pack is slamming into the meta. Worlds is coming here on the near future here. So I am very, very curious to see how that's going to go. We're also still seeing early application with the Joey set. And obviously, depending on where that's going to go, it's going to be great. I do expect utility selection is going to be a weird set for the TCG to adapt. But for what we're looking at right now, just be happy. We're getting some change. I didn't expect to see this level of interaction coming out with things right now, but I'm okay with this. The game is evolving, and we're getting some very hard-hitting power creep. A little bit more than I expected to be getting right now, but I'll take it, Saley. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll revisit this topic later on in the week as we get to see some more application, but it's going to be an interesting weekend. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.